You called it. You said earlier, look, this is kind of the unofficial kickoff to the campaigning for the midterms here, and it does feel like that's what we got, in addition to obviously comments on gun control or the lack of it going forward.
That's right. So in addition to Vice President Pence and President Trump, you had other politicians there. Perhaps most notably, you had Congressman Hudson, who brought the concealed carry reciprocity bill earlier this year.
Yeah, and he's someone who was actually a confirmed speaker, an invited speaker for this event. This event is part of the NRA's 4-day annual meeting, but it is a must-stop, or it's a destination for any elected official, and this is actually what they say on their website as well. It's a pit stop for anyone who wants to pursue higher office, because they need to come here and make their case for why the Second Amendment is so important.
That's right. This is really their core audience. You have people here that took time out of their lives, that spent the money to attend a big convention in a big city like Dallas. It's certainly not a cheap trip to make. You really have to be someone who's very dedicated to the cause to attend something like this. And those are the people that are going to go to the polls. Those are the kinds of people that might encourage their friends and family to go to the polls. They could be potential donors.
Yeah, and getting back to that point about the president urging everyone to go and make sure that they vote in the midterm elections.
Yeah, and this is actually quite fascinating for me. Talk about this issue specifically. Clearly, when you're looking at the two different parties, the Democrats and the Republicans, particularly as far as the House is concerned, it's forever a contentious issue ultimately. But how does it play into what we're expecting as far as November is concerned for the candidates involved here?
I think it's going to be one of the biggest talking points that we see this election season, in part because of Parkland, and in part because we've seen groups both on the pro-gun and anti-gun side really advocate for their candidates, really push those candidates forward already, and we are still months out from those elections. So if we're already seeing that kind of debate so early in the season, I think it's going to be a major talking point going forward.
And you mentioned Congressman Hudson. He introduced that concealed carry bill, which passed the House, didn't it?
That's right. It did pass the House, but it's not yet been brought before the Senate.
And if it were to be introduced in the Senate, what are the odds of it passing?
I think it remains to be seen. I do think that it would be a really serious fight, and that's part of the reason that it's not been brought before the Senate, right? Because it is effectively allowing concealed carry permits to work the same way as a driver's license. And some have said that might be a states' rights issue. Potentially there would be lawsuits related to that, and the Senate doesn't want a loss.